Hello, hello. I am Ben Pick, and welcome to Running to Write, where I give questionable writing advice through running metaphors, normally. Except tonight we are doing more productivity sprints for the near future. And sorry, I'm a few minutes late and I'm a little bit sweaty. It is really hot outside, so my afternoon walk, things got a little bit sweaty. And yeah, so I was out there with my 5-gallon bucket and the claw, cleaning up things. And there was somebody apparently, a pile of human garbage had apparently broken a car windshield and then just left it there. So I picked up the broken windshield and was steadily bringing it to a trash can as it is slowly crumbling in my hands. So I had to do a very good job washing all the shards of glass out of my fingers and hands and arm. All the cuts are tiny and all the blood is dry, so that's fun. But yeah, there's now one fewer broken windshield in our neighborhood. Also, like hundreds of fewer cigarettes, because again, there are a lot of piles of human garbage who live in my neighborhood. Fun times. So I am starting to get my stuff ready. I'm a little bit all out of sorts. It has been a fun week. I was out of town taking care of some people, and now I am back. So, yeah. Some of my neighbors are actually great. My immediate neighbors are fantastic. There's this family at the corner of the street who I give some very dirty looks to. And I did today. They were outside, the whole family was walking, and like I just walked onto their driveway and just started picking up the trash that they don't. So I give them some very condescending looks. And the grandmother was probably giving me some crusty looks back, but I don't really care because, she is pretty useless. Yeah. I mean, the family never picked up after their dog. They routinely have trash just on their lawn, and that trash, when a wind blows, it spreads down the street. So I can actually see walking from my house to theirs, just like all types of trash spread all over people. So thank you for being here and for listening to me vent about the people in my neighborhood. Tomorrow I'm going to walk the other way and clean up that mess too, because there's all kinds of issues that side. Namely because there's a 7-Eleven there, and where there's a 7-Eleven, there's people leaving actual human waste in public. So, anyways, and the park, I saw that there are now 3 shopping carts there, so I gotta on Thursday, I guess, return shopping carts to Target and I think Home Goods. It's about, I don't know, mile and a half, but that's the way I'm going to do an overhaul because that's on my course. So I'm going to do a major cleanup that way on my day off. As I also prep for good things. So yeah, let's keep things positive. This weekend is AwesomeCon, so I'm really excited for that, and it's going to be fun times. I was there as a vendor last year for the first time. I attended the AwesomeCon a bunch of times since then, or I guess before then. I feel like I've gone at least 5 different times. It's really fun DC Con. So if you're in the area, stop by, say hi, do the whole thing. I promise I will not vent about my neighborhood if you're there. And I'm getting ready to write. What chapter am I in? There we go. Oh boy. So I finished up the last chapter, a pretty heavy chapter. There was some pretty graphic maimings, which is something new for me. Yeah, I know. And one more thing of good news is Devin's Kickstarter. So we have the Epic Dark Fantasy Duology, which is launching soon. Oh, I thought it was... Oh, yeah, sorry. Launches on April 2nd. There we go. So between now and next time, so I will also send out a message, or I'll also mention it next week. but this is, yeah, I feel like it's launching next week. So it is right there. So come next week, I will do a roundup of AwesomeCon, and I'll also promote Devin's upcoming work. So with that out of the way, let's get started on some writing. I am going to be, I have my earphones in. I'm not actually listening to anything. It's just the musical cues at the end of this. So everything will be quiet. I'm going in some, oops, this is the 30-minute. There we go. This is the 30-minute one. And so I'm going to get in some good writing. Going to quickly read where I ended things in the last chapter and then pick things up from there. So yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah, I dropped my PG-13, my one F-bomb at the end of this chapter. So that's something to look forward to for those of you who are keeping track. Each of my books has one F-bomb, and this one rightfully fits, given everything that happened. And I'm going to pick it up on the next chapter. So cool. Oh, right. Sorry. I meant to also do that. I'll talk about it in the interim, where I'll talk about how things went and my book reading last week, or now it's a week and a half ago. So a week from last Saturday, I did a book reading in Baltimore at the Charm City Speculative Fiction Club. So you have that to look forward to. All right. Anyways, I will see you all in 30 minutes. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Martin, hey, hey, hey. Coffee Create Connect, thank you for being here. And I hope you got in a lot of good writing. Sorry, I'm not kidding when I say the day I published the book, I'm buying myself a trophy that says Queen of Working Through Nonstop, Almost Comical Levels of Distraction. Yes. I also had some distractions, not nearly of that caliber. However, I sorry, I don't know what you're dealing with over there, but I wrote something and then realized that I didn't. It was so my characters are in high school, which means they have classes. They definitely didn't go to class in book 3, and so we're now in book 4, and I'm trying to remember what classes they had, and I knew that I had tracked it all somewhere. I had a file for every single person's class schedules, and I had forgotten where I stored it. Of course, it was stored with book 2, and so now I updated and then combined all of the character changes into one single location. So there are the characters per book, and then there's the overall characters, and then there's like the most recent character information. So it's unnecessarily complicated. However, I was able to find my characters' class schedules, which means I was able to make a good reference. And now I'm going to lead that into some longing for home, because this entire book is another adventure away, which means I only wrote 359 words, but I did do a good amount of merging and research into my own book's history. Anyways, oh yeah, dogs are always the best divas. So yes, as I always say, the whole reason why we work so hard is so that our dogs can live the indulged lives they deserve. And by that, I mean they are freeloaders sleeping on the couch all day. But that is everything that our dogs deserve. And I really do wish them all the best. Yeah, I mean, I do go into that a little bit. They do definitely make a choice of saying like, hey, this is kind of more important, so I don't know what'll happen. I don't know when we'll be back, and what that will ultimately mean for their schooling. A couple of the characters decide to stay because they do think that, well, first of all, they want to stay where they are because they want to protect everyone there. But while they're there, they decide that they're going to keep going to school, and that's much more important than not doing that. Rufus was such a good doggy. Sorry, I'm very tired. Yeah, he would definitely just hang out on the couch all day and snuggle up on anybody who wanted it and give attention when he cared to, and just he was absolutely the best. But yeah, so just because you have superpowers doesn't mean you are, one, free from school, and two, should be. It's kind of like with that Wizarding School series, which should not be named. I mean, sure, they can go through a bunch of spells, but they have zero mathematical skills, zero historic. Although I guess they did do, they did take a history class, but it's not like global history. It's, my point is that the school, most wizard and witchcraft schools leave with a less than desirable education unless you want to focus entirely on magic things. And sure, using magic, you could, in theory, um, create limitless money or create a job which would get you money. But yeah, those characters, it's a good thing they stop when they're young adults, because those characters are going to grow up to be very dumb. No, no, no. So there is a government-sponsored hero in my series. They do clash with the heroes occasionally, but no, the federal government is not the government. I do explain that, Richard. You are not reading between the lines enough. I do absolutely outright come and say it in book 4, but there is a character who's like, by the way, if you screw up one more time, we're just going to haul you away and you will never see the light of day again. So there, I do address that with my characters about why they haven't been hauled away. And yes, to some extent, it is that they couldn't really contain them well. So there is that. They don't have the, when you can transform matter, when you can create incredible amounts of force with your mind, there are only so many human prisons that you can be kept in that would contain a person. And that is all I'll say on that. Wow, we are already. Oh yeah, sorry. I was going to talk about the damn it. I was going to talk about the Baltimore reading, but I'll save for the next round. We'll do a quick 20-minute we'll do a 20-minute productivity sprint. Then I'll talk about Baltimore really quickly, and then I will do one last 20-minute sprint, and we can call it a day. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. I guess when we reconvene, shout out whatever you're working on, whatever you feel like sharing. Shout out how it's going. Shout out how you're feeling today. I mean, I am plenty stressed, but I had a good talk with the higher up management because they wanted me to possibly take on some extra work. And I'm like, hey, here's a list of reasons why that's a bad idea. And the guy's like, ooh, yeah, that is, yeah, well, we got to fix that. And I'm like, I know. That's what everyone keeps saying. So yeah, today is both very stressful and less so, I guess, is probably the best way of thinking about it. Yes, I am quite the tease. Anyways, 20 minutes on the clock. I will see you all at the end of it. I'm going to try and get some more good writing. Whew. Welcome back, everyone. I'm just going to keep rolling along. Yeah, so the reason why I was asked to take on additional tasks is because I'm one of the few people who know what needs to be done. So I think the compromise is that I'm going to be an interim person, and then I'll try and work on getting somebody else up to speed on how things work there. Not really a great solution, but whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. And let's see. Oh, right. Charm City went fantastic. Well, pretty good for me. I was one of 5 authors. There were a pair of 3 women who were a part of an anthology. They had all written this novel called New Year, New You, and it's an assorted anthology, off largely about time travel, which kind of works because all of us had a theme of, to some degree, time travel and or science-y, fiction-y things related. And then there was there was me, 3 women in the anthology, and there was a 4th woman, 5th author who was promoting her book as well. I don't honestly remember much from that, but it was definitely a time travel story. And so, yeah, it was really good. Definitely the anthology was by far the most popular. And as far as I know, everyone who bought books pretty much gravitated towards that anthology. It was fantastically written. It was very creative. There was at least one story with a good amount of spice in it. And so we transitioned from that to mine. And I think I even made a comment about how, by the way, like, that was some pretty good spice, but mine's got no spice. So, pick your poison or choose your battle, choose your own adventure. And that was fun to discuss, mention there. Everyone there was incredibly supportive. I was there because at Balticon, I met the organizer named Chris. And so he invited me to come out this time, probably primarily because there was a large amount of time travel related themes and stories with each of the other novels and or short stories. No, I'm okay with it. I am going to try to work on it, I guess, because certain things have been building up, so there won't be spice, but there will definitely be relationships and probably closed door stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I need to definitely write those things in because while that is not a driving factor of the story, the romantic relationships, it should be more. So that's something that I'm going to work on going from draft 0 to draft 1, is to build in more of the romance plots. Cool. So I was at 359 and now I am, can close that down. Now I am at 647. Oh, good. So I wrote as many words as I did for the second sprint of 20 minutes as I did for the first one of 30. Well, we'll see how things go. And let's see. How are you all doing with your writing? I know. Yes, I will need help with that. I know. Let's see. Coffee, Create, Connect. You are working on You're working on editing, but then you get distracted by your dog, so I have no idea where you are at the moment. Richard, hopefully you are doing well with your Legacy of Iron. You had finished the second act when we spoke. I don't honestly remember if it was last week or this past weekend, but it feels like it was this past weekend on Saturday. And yeah, so we're doing crab legs for dinner. Nice, 500 words. Awesome. Yeah. That's why I said Act 2 is complete. I don't know. I feel like it was on Saturday because I feel like I was playing a lot of AoE because I was just too mentally brain dead to do anything. Cool. Well, let's roll right into the third and final sprint. But I am running out of time, so let's just make it 15 minutes. So executive decision, 15 minutes. Crab legs are waiting, and I will go silent very shortly. So good luck for the final sprint of tonight. And right, we have Devin's thing first of all, which I will do more promotion for next weekend, next Monday when the event is actually open. I'll also do a roundup of AwesomeCon, and I think that's most. Oh, right. Coming up this week, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, I'm sending out my newsletter on this Thursday, whatever the third is. I send it out every third day of the month, and I believe Thursday is the third. So if you want to get all the goodness about my story, my writing process, me as I pull glass out of my hands, fun things really, you can sign up. The link is in the description for the channel, and yeah, that's all I got. So let's get to writing. And welcome back, everyone. I rounded things out with a solid 958 words for tonight, which is pretty good, all things considered. And yeah, I am about to get ready for dinner, so I will see you all on the other side of AwesomeCon, which is really exciting to say because I mean, I have no idea how much I'll sell, but if nothing else, I will be at AwesomeCon as a vendor, which will be phenomenal. So I might actually take photos, Richard. I'm already ahead of you. I'm terrible about doing that, but I'm sure I will get something out there. With that in mind, thank you everyone for joining me on Writing to Write and for writing, for being productive, for doing whatever you were doing tonight. It is a Monday. It is a short week for me. I'm only working 3 days because I took off for Thursday and Friday because AwesomeCon. But even so, it will be a sprint to the finish. And oh boy, that's all I've got for you all. Richard, thank you for being here. Martin, thank you for saying hi. Let's see. Coffee Create Connect. Thank you for joining in and chatting up about your dog. And hopefully you were able to do some good editing tonight. I believe that is everyone. I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful week. And take care.